Bom Shankar Bholānātha. Good morning, my angels. I can only reach you through your ears. I cannot reach you. I can reach you through your hearts, not through your logic. If I say I love you, why should you believe me unless you feel it? That's the whole point. The way to divinity is to observe what is happening at this moment around the world. That's the way to divinity. It prepares you for the plunge into the infinity by seeing its opposite, the smallness of the world activity today. But the smallness is not small for nothing. There's a purpose. This disintegration of the smallness, this destruction of the meanness is the beginning of magnanimity. So creative destruction means not destroying the happiness and peace, but destroying definitely misery and suffering for nothing. What happens for lack of sympathy when our neighbor suffers? We become unaware of it. It hurts us to remember that our neighbor is suffering. So still there is suffering in one single heart around this planet. I shall not rest. While there is hunger in one stomach around the world, I shall not rest. I understand suffering, hunger, disease, bereavement, separation, because I had to pass through them with intense feeling. I never had a moment to think about myself. I only thought about others, though maybe they are my parents, wife and children. But the intensity of suffering for their suffering was really great. Then I realized my wife, my parents, my children and myself does not compose the entire existence. It requires hundreds of thousands and millions of families like that. So every member of the family suffers, enjoys or suffers with the rest of the members of the family, and each family suffers for the other families, then the whole world can become heaven. In heaven there is no jealousy or violence. In heaven there is only protection from violence and jealousy. This protection can be imparted through knowledge, and knowledge destroys greed and provides freedom from involution in desire. Not that I have to speak to you for thousands of hours like this, but this is the beginning. Then I'll speak to you in the way you want me to speak to you. I know how you want me to speak to you. You want me to speak to you softly, without frightening anybody in the whole world. What happens by itself. It's nobody's desire. Had anybody's desire been fulfilled, then the whole world would collapse immediately. So it's the desirelessness and observation of what is happening and how desire is creating violence and oppression is the beginning of liberation from that condition. And this liberation takes place one after another, not all at once. Then it would be like an explosion. This liberation is taking place particularly in America very quickly. Those who are involved in small matters keeps on thinking about small matters. Those who observe small matters and thinks of something greater are becoming greater by themselves. A man is what he feels, not what he thinks really. Because his thinking is conditioned by what is happening around the world, in the world of violence, mistrust, lies, oppression, murder, rape, theft, burglary, litigation, and accusation against each other. And this keeps one from thinking about God. But one has to observe this while the God is there. This won't last. I have seen that this is going to pass away very, very soon. America will become peaceful because the whole world, all nations of the world's eyes are glued to United States of America. What America does becomes the leadership. And America has the leadership. because they are the youngest nation. All other nations around the world are so old and they cannot move. They cannot do anything. They can only continue what they have been doing for the ages in the past. But America is only a baby nation, 200 years old, compared to other nations who are thousands of years old. So America is a baby nation. It has the ability to grow, and by its own growth, it will become peaceful. And when it becomes peaceful, the whole world will see with admiration how peaceful America is. And that will make other nations to follow America and become peaceful themselves, and all nations will live in harmony and amity. If I only speak about God and not about pragmatism of the nations and their conditions, then this will become empty words. God is not empty. He is active on the human plane too. Thank you for listening. I'm grateful for your patience. Think.